What's going on, people? Today I'm going into Avengers Age of Ultron in 4K and 3D for you 3D lovers. And I got that coming up for you next. So Avengers Age of Ultron just came out in 4K. I'm going to be getting right into the video quality of that 4K disc. This was actually given a 2K digital intermediate while being shot all digitally with ARRI Alexa cameras, and you can tell a clear difference with this film and the previous Avengers film in 4K, and even in the previous Avengers Age of Ultron Blu-ray. This one is super razor sharp at times, and it is truly one of the sharpest films in this whole Marvel franchise that they have really built for themselves up to this point, because of the fact that not all of the films are actually in 4K at this point in time. There is a whole lot of detail here that was really on the Blu-ray. That Blu-ray was pretty detailed, but it goes into even greater detail here. Especially, I noticed it a lot in the Hulk. A lot of the wear and the tear in Hulk, especially in that opening action scene and the end action scene. Hulk looks incredible in this movie. Just soup to nuts, incredible, and there's a lot of detail in them. And then you are given the HDR here, and HDR definitely helps with the settings of this movie. You know, there is a lot of globe-trotting in Age of Ultron, and just the settings and the landscapes have a richer feel to them that really wasn't in the Blu-ray. But what comes along with that is overuse of HDR, and sometimes that does happen, and it happens a little bit here, particularly in the scene where the Hulkbuster goes up against Hulk. You will notice some pretty extreme tones in color that feel kind of out of place. And that is because in that particular scene and in other scenes in this film, the contrast of the colors is just amped up to a point that I particularly don't like, because it just doesn't look natural. But other than that, this is a really great 4K presentation that I will give an 8 out of 10 to, with the speculation that I actually really do like it, and I don't want that to really come across as me not liking it that much, because I really did. And getting into the 3D review of the 3D copy that actually came out years ago when this Blu-ray came out. This was one that I wanted to pick up at the time because of the fact that the first Avengers looked so good in 3D, and I was a little let down by this particular one. This is a very vibrant movie, but unfortunately that vibrance does not come across in this 3D version. This is one of those typical 3D releases that mute the colors, like, a lot. And what comes with that is a real decrease in detail. There's a lot of detail in this movie. This is a good looking movie, but a lot of that doesn't come across with the 3D that has been done here. Now, with that being said, there are some great moments, like the beginning action scene where all of the Avengers are teaming up and storming the castle. This is a 3D disc that I generally like, but I don't really come back to a lot. And for that, I do have to give it a 6 out of 10. This isn't that bad, but it's just not that good either. So getting into the Dolby Atmos track that we get on the 4K version, I was petrified of this Dolby Atmos track. Avengers Age of Ultron on Blu-ray has the worst Marvel audio track in the whole collection to me. That one is very troubling for reasons that I'll go into later, but they are largely fixed here. Height speaker use gets a lot of usage, and even more usage than in Avengers, and especially in the end fight scene where you can literally hear Ultron just talking in your height speakers as he flies over the Avengers. This is a very wide and very expansive field of sound that this Dolby Atmos track has, and the bass response here is great and is a significant improvement from the Blu-ray. And for that, people, you absolutely have to pick up this disc because this is so much better than the Blu-ray. It's not reference quality, but it's the next best thing. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. And now to talk about the audio on this 3D disc. Oh boy. Well, this was the same DTS HD 7.1 mix that was on the Blu-ray. And when I first listened to this a couple of years ago, I seriously thought there was something wrong with my surround sound. Right off the bat, with the action scene at the beginning of the film where the Avengers storm the castle, almost all of the action is weirdly muted, and the lower frequencies and higher frequencies are just compacted into just like this really weird and muffled sound that really doesn't come across well at all. And on top of that, you get dialogue that is kind of hard to hear at times. And man, I really did not like this audio track when it came out. I'm going to go really hard on this audio track just because I really don't like it, and I don't want Disney to go back to this. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. This is bad. Pretty bad. And as far as the digital copy here goes, this is a Movies Anywhere digital copy, so you can download the 4K version of this on iTunes and Vudu. And as far as the special features here goes, you get just on the 4K disc a U-Control feature that is brand new. With the exception of that, all of the special features are only on the Blu-ray disc, whether you have the 3D version or the 4K version. And getting into those special features, you get a Joss Whedon commentary that is still really damn good and very informative. And then you get some middling featurettes that go into the way that this movie globetrots around and shows a lot more different sites. You get some group interviews that go on for about 20 minutes and go into the making of the film. And there is another one that goes into where this movie takes its ideas from as far as from the comic books. This is a step down as far as special features go from the original Avengers. And to top that off, there aren't a whole lot on the 4K disc and none on the 3D disc, so I'm going to have to give this a 5 out of 10. And getting into my last looks at Avengers Age of Ultron, this movie is just a lesson in when too much is too much, and you couldn't have a movie that has this amount of stuff in it that would be really good and satisfying. I watch Age of Ultron and I have a lot of fun with it, but I am left kind of stuffed like I ate like a McDonald's cheeseburger. It is kind of satisfying, but it leaves you with just a feeling of unfulfillment. And that is largely what I get from Age of Ultron. And if you didn't watch my review of Age of Ultron, I actually gave it a 7 out of 10. And when you add up all my scores for the 4K release of this movie, then you come out with a 30 out of 40. And then when you add up the 3D scores, you actually come out with a 23 out of 40. It is a steep decline for the 3D version just because of the audio. And as far as the 4K version goes, if you actually want to own an excellent version of Age of Ultron, and you have the capabilities to listen to this in Dolby Atmos, pick this up because it is damn worth it. So guys, I am finally going to be getting into Avengers Infinity War, and I will have that coming up to you guys real damn soon. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are really damn awesome, and I will see all of you next time.